Welcome to the Filmcast review of Avatar Aang, The Last Airbender, streaming right now on Paramount Plus. I'm going to read the plot summary from IMDb. Avatar Aang, the world's last airbender, learns of an ancient power that could save his culture from extinction. With the help of his friends, he embarks on a global quest to find it before it falls into the wrong hands. End quote. So, I just want to be upfront.
We finally got Dave to watch The Airbender.
Yes, we did it.
Amazing.
Yeah, well, hey, I mean, Devindra, we are not acknowledging the fact that I did watch the M. Night Shyamalan Last Airbender film. So I think that pretty much makes me an expert as far as I can tell in The Last Airbender.
That's the only Avatar the Last Airbender thing we want anyone to watch.
Yeah.
And also, you're recalling in your nearly 20-year-old viewing of that movie, Dave. Just to age us a little bit.
I can't believe you said that. So, so I have basically, other than the M. Night Shyamalan movie, I have basically not seen any Avatar the Last Airbender at all.
This, by the way, is after years, decades of us calling it one of the best shows ever made. This is how hard it takes. This is how much it takes for Dave to actually watch something.
So what we're going to do, Devindra and Jeff are very familiar with the franchise. And I am not. And so that's how we're going to approach this review is like, they'll talk about it as lovers of the franchise and I'll talk about it as an outsider coming in, not having known anything about it. But before we even get to our review of this film, maybe you guys can just share a few brief words about what it is you love so much about Avatar the Last Airbender, like why it has endured in its appeal for you, and why we're here today talking about a movie that is a sequel to that franchise. Devindra,
there's a new series coming. Like,
it's a great time to be.
There's
fans.
a live action on Netflix right now, as far as I can tell, right? So
we don't talk about that one.
Yeah,
but
But yeah, Devindra, what do you love so much about Avatar the Last Airbender?
This is, I think this is Star Wars for an entire generation of kids. Like, this is that story of big heroes, incredible powers, sweeping epic stories of heroism. And in many ways, I think better than Star Wars because it tells a very cohesive story. The original series, it's kind of it's a little tough to watch now because it's older animation style. Not all episodes are animated super well, just like a lot of animated shows back in the day. And also it's 4:3. So this is before everything was widescreen. So it just feels like you're watching a much older show. But like story-wise, it is telling an epic story of adventure and regret and friendship and so many. Like, this is why I love stories in general. Like, to me, this is very much like an Odyssey type of thing, right? Everything goes back to the Odyssey, but it's Aang's long journey towards like fixing the wrong he did, because this story starts in like a deep place. They find this kid in an iceberg, and it turns out 100 years ago he ran away from home. He's the fabled Avatar. Everybody in his community, all his people, die because he ran away, and that is the guilt that he's living with. And it's just heavier in so many ways and so many kids things. But I love the characters. I love like the tone. Clearly these creators were inspired by anime as well. And as somebody who loved anime growing up, it's really cool to see an American show kind of taking all that on. So I think it endured. I love The Legend of Korra as well. And we're in a period now where the original creators of the show have started Avatar Studios and have the ability to make new things. So Netflix has the live action show. They're not involved in that at all. And we could have been in a world where Netflix controlled everything. And no, like, they can still make stuff. They can still do stuff. So there was also a teaser trailer or a trailer for the upcoming show, which is more of like a post-apocalyptic Avatar show. It's coming to, it looks incredible. So we are in a place where this franchise has been rejuvenated by the original creators, trying to like make this story better and more complete. This is sort of like, again, bringing back Star Wars, except it's the original folks back in and kind of like just progressing that story along. So it's an incredible time. But yeah, Jeff, what do you think?
Oh, I agree with everything you said. The only thing I will add is that one of the things that I think that the mythos of the world of The Last Airbender is so well thought out and beautiful and interesting. And the idea of the Avatar, which is this being that is reincarnated every generation, You know, you have the Aang Avatar generation series, and then you have Korra, which is sort of a whole generation after that. And the new series is going to be the generation after Korra, the Seven Havens. So they have this very robust world. But even more interesting than that is these different societies built around the four elements. And one of the things that was so revolutionary at the time when the show came out was this is a kids animated show that actually took martial arts seriously and built in to the animation, to the world that they had created a sense of mysticism, but also of sort of authentically showing that the movement, the fight choreography, but even the magic system, such as it is, the way that the bending of elements that is sort of fundamental to this world is done through body movements. It looks like Tai Chi or Kung Fu, you know, and that is such a compelling facet of the world for me. And the fact that they animated it so beautifully and brilliantly and took the time to make the fights dynamic and interesting. 20 years ago, wherever it was when the show debuted, there's nothing like that. And it was so cool to see it. And it married, I think, a very kid-friendly, funny, irreverent sensibility with a very serious, as Devindra pointed out, dark, but also like taking its world seriously. And I think that's the best kind of stuff. I think for my money, being able to be funny and serious, and you know, we were joking in the earlier segment about the Atari 2600 game Adventure. This is adventure writ large with a capital A. Devindra mentioned it too. It is a true adventure series where every episode we're meeting new characters, we're going new places, we're traveling through the world and seeing new things, and you keep adding new cool facets to this world and new cool characters and new fight styles, and we're evolving things we learn. And Aang is assembling a team, getting more powerful, learning new things. It's just so great. And I think Devindra's right to compare it to Star Wars, because I did the whole time I was watching it. The first time, I've since rewatched the whole series multiple times, just finished a rewatch, I think a couple of years ago with my kids. That was very satisfying to watch it through their eyes. This is a show that endures, and I'm so glad that the IP is having this resurgence now, and can't wait to talk about this movie.
All right, well, let's get to it. Thank you for sharing that, guys. Devindra Hardawar, now that we've said all that, right, and obviously the original series is brilliant, this movie, which is streaming right now on Paramount Plus, as far as I can tell, takes place significantly after the end of the series, right?
Well, they're adults now. So the series ends where everybody's basically kids. And the thing about Korra's timeline is it's the generation after. So you see Aang's older kids. You see like the
So this is like
influence.
in between those two things, basically.
Yeah, you see
we've
Aang's
never
kids
seen
as full on like 40, 50-year-old people.
Wow.
Like so it's a huge time jump to the next series. Yeah.
Right.
Incredible time jump. So we've never seen these characters as adults. And that's what I was
in this
really...
time period, right. Got it.
In this time period, as full-on adults. Like, and by the way, like Korra, amazing. J.K. Simmons plays the adult version of Aang's son. And it's fantastic. He is so good at it.
So, so what did you think of Avatar Aang the Last Airbender?
Freaking loved it. I freaking love this movie because, again, we've never seen the characters like this. It is the sort of like anime thing where there are a lot of times when there's a really successful anime series and you've built this great mythology and you think it's done, but you do a movie, you kind of have to shove that story in there somewhere. It may not feel as essential or as complete or as epic. And I think it actually... There is a part of that because this is a short story. Basically, it's just 90 minutes. We're used to Avatar things taking entire seasons to really build up and everything. But I also think like it is tackling like a fundamental problem for Aang. Like what I've loved about the show is that it is so well written and so character focused. This idea of Aang as he saved the world. He gathered the teams. He turned his worst enemy into his friend who also taught him how to do firebending. Frickin' Rufio from Hook, by the way. like he accomplished all this. He saved the world, and now he is here as an adult trying to like rebuild things. Like he's building the city where everybody could come together, people of all different bending types and non-benders. And he's still alone. He still has an emptiness. And I think that's a really interesting thing to tackle, because let me tell you, in Korra, we didn't get a sense of what adult Aang was. All we really got is that he was kind of a bad dad, because he was building this whole city and trying to save the world again in many ways. He didn't have time to really pay attention to his kids, which is an unfortunate thing. So yeah, I think this is a really interesting look at Aang trying to like figure out his own history, making some bad decisions, which is totally fine too. Like he's a human being, even though he's the avatar that can do all these things. He makes some bad choices, potentially puts his friends in harm. But I think it is an interesting story. There's a really cool villain in this one. And I also think the Avatar people looked at modern anime shows like Jujutsu Kaisen and just like, all right, challenge accepted. And have created some of the best choreographed animated fight scenes I've seen. There's an opening one in like one of the air temple trit sequences, just like it goes vertical. The animation is so fluid, it is so cool. And the show, like the movie, also assumes you kind of know the deal of how bending works. Like they can just get into it and do super cool big ass bending stuff. So I think like it succeeds on all levels. Like I was watching with my daughter too, and she was fully engrossed by all of it. Dave Bautista does incredible work here as Taga. It shows us avatars we've never seen before, including one by Ki Hoi Kwan, and also Frida Pinto is in this movie. So really great use of like voice talent and different actors, but also it does true to like what everybody loves about these characters. Sokka's still the silly one, the funny one who gets to goof around, but still gets his moments of glory. And my favorite character, Toph, gets a lot of love.
Oh, dude, there's a Toph moment in this movie.
There's so many great Toph moments. So I think it is fulfilling for fans of the show. And I think for newcomers, they set you up, like what the story is, what Aang went through, what these people are to each other. It may feel less fulfilling, less complete if you're just jumping into this as your first Avatar thing, but it is a good jumping off point to be like, wow, this was a cool story. I wonder where this all began. I wonder what happens like a bit after this. This is a good way to get new people into the Avatar world as well, I think.
Jeff Kanata, your thoughts on Avatar Aang the Last Airbender?
Well, Dave, I guess you could say my thoughts on Aang, Avatar the Last Airbender, are best summed up in the form of a limerick. All the folks that we love but older. Sokka's fun and Toph's pushing boulders. When you look at Aang, you'll be like, dang, he got muscly abs, chest, and shoulders. I love this movie so much. I want this movie to be a success so we can get more Avatar stuff in this time period. I want adult Aang, Katara, Sokka, and Zuko move more stuff. It's awesome. I love the original series so very much, and I really like Korra, but it is jarring to, like Devindra pointed out, to start Korra and be like, oh, so Aang was kind of like a deadbeat dad, and like it's just sort of like all these characters like, fall in love with these children, and you want they save the world and it's incredible, and it's you've been with them for so long, and it's like time jump. Let's talk about dad. It's like, whoa. So just having that, it's such a reward to be like, oh, dude, look at adult in his prime Aang. It's Luke Skywalker, full Jedi. He saved the world. What's that? Like, this is, we talked to.
It would be intro. Like Luke Skywalker between episode 6 and 7, basically, right?
Yeah, well, this is what, we talk about the comparisons to Star Wars, and this is kind of what I would have wanted, not exactly, but it's kind of the spirit of what I would have wanted from a sequel series, right? Is episode 7 sort of resets everything in the Star Wars universe. It's like, oh yeah, there's a new empire. It's bad. What this movie does is like, no, we did it. We saved the galaxy. What now? Like
Mhm.
what's that?
Right.
That also presents a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You
it's
rebuild.
so interesting to have that challenge. And yes, this movie also, gets real plotty and we get a new villain and all that stuff. But like where it starts, I find to be so satisfying from a fan of this series because you get the thing you wanted. You like, oh yes, there's a scene right at the beginning where Aang comes back and Katara comes running up and just kisses him, and I was just like, oh, that's what it's like that's what you want. It's like this thing grew up and they're in love still, and it's like it's just all the place you want these characters to be in, and then there's new challenges, right? But it's so satisfying on that level for fans of the show because you get that time period that you kind of felt like you were building up to. Is like, oh, they inherit the world, basically. He is the new Avatar. He's the last Jedi, right? He gets to be that person, and we never get to see it until now. And so anyway, that's great. But also, dude, I cannot stress enough what Devindra said about the animation of this movie. Holy God, it is triumphant what they've done here. And that opening sequence is a great example of it, but the movie is consistently gorgeous. I gathered my family together. We watched this projected in my home theater on the big screen with the sound. And this is a theatrical experience in a way.
It's criminal this is not in theaters. I
totally agree, but in a way that the original series doesn't touch. And the original series I love, for many visual reasons, but this is an entirely new level of holy moly, it looks great. Like it looks like they spent some money, which is funny because so much of the reaction from the Seven Havens teaser is people criticizing the animation style. It's like, oh, did they do a step back?
It's a totally different animation style from a French studio, but I don't think it just looks different. It doesn't look bad.
Yeah, I don't have a problem. But a lot of people are complaining that it looks like old, 80s TV show.
It looks different. But here's the thing: the original series of Avatar went full Dragon Ball Z for the final fight. The series builds up to this incredible final fight where Aang is flying around, boulders are flying, people are being punched through mountains, and this show just starts there. And that's kind of where this movie starts there, and that's pretty cool.
It's so rad. Like that opening sequence is so rad, and there's all these new characters that are introduced. I'm like, I want to know all about them, and we never really get to. It's a bummer, but they're all so interesting and distinct. There's a chick that uses a rope attack thing that's spinning around her head that it's so authentic to how you really see that style of martial art accomplished in real life. Oh, dude, it is epic. And the movie stays at this epic place, but doesn't scrimp on fun character moments. And like you said, we still get to have fun with Sokka, and he gets to be goofy.
Cabbages, Dave, you got the cabbages joke. That left an impact on you, clearly.
Yeah, that's a running gag through the whole series.
Through Korra and the original series, the cabbages guy.
It's so great. And I just cannot. I'm so in love with this movie. I'm so happy it got to exist and got to be made at the level it's made. Like, Devindra was talking about some of the voice talent. It's top tier voice talent. Like this isn't Nickelodeon kids TV show voice talent. It's, Steven Yeun is in this and Taika Waititi.
He replaces, Zuko, which is unfortunate.
It's a bummer, but it's cool that they got. It's even like Ronnie Chang is like a under 5 character in this. He's like just a random guard guy. So clearly there's a bunch of people who are fans who are like, sign me up. I want to be in this. And it's great. And the movie's great. It ends with a crescendo. I think ultimately the sort of plot of this is, it feels, I think only in comparison to the shows, which are these extended multi-season arcs, it feels, I don't know what the word is, abbreviated or kind of
it's a little abrupt. It's a little short. It doesn't feel as epic as those other things. Yeah.
What a triumph. What fun. What a great time. My kids loved it. I got to watch this with my kids who sat through the whole show with me. They had a great time watching it. I'm so happy this movie exists.
I liked Avatar: Aang the Last Airbender. I think I echo the thoughts you guys have about the animation. I remember when I watched Invincible season 1.
God.
And I was talking about, oh yeah, there's some really cool stuff in the show, and Devindra was like, yeah, but the animation looks terrible on the show. And I was like, oh well, it looked kind of okay to me. Then you watch this movie, and it's like, oh, this is what Devindra was talking about. Like, this is what good animation.
People being like, wait, why don't we look like this in Invincible? Like, yeah,
this is what good animation looks like. And by the way, you know, Steven Yeun is in both.
Yes.
Both things, and they're both about, you know, apparently superheroes with troubled relationships with their fathers. But yeah, so I want to start at the place of the animation is mind-blowingly good. There's multiple different fights in Avatar and the Last Airbender, and they all look and feel different. Like it's not like, oh, and we're just doing the fight thing again. It's like, oh wow, there's a different setting, and the ways in which these powers are manifested is different, and I really appreciated that. And so just based off the animation alone, even if the story was completely terrible, I would say like go check out this movie because the animation is incredible. It's exemplary of its form, standard bearer of the form of like, wow, they put so much time and effort and care into this. Well worth checking out. I appreciated that this movie basically has a recap of everything that's happened in the Avatar franchise up until this point, which by the way, like so many movies don't have this, right? Like
it's very simple.
And it only took like 2 minutes.
It didn't feel very clunky to me either.
No, it felt pretty smooth. But there's a lot of movies that we watch these days that like introduce you into a thing and they're like, we don't even give a shit. Like if you haven't seen it, don't give a shit. Like Marvel, great example. Like there's very little in Marvel that they're like, let's catch you up to what's happened until now. Like no, they don't do that, or they try to do it in subtle ways and it doesn't work very well in my opinion. So I appreciated that they kind of like, hey, we're going to just speed run everything that happened in the Avatar franchise in the first like 5 minutes of this film, and that was very, very helpful to me, and it was pretty effective.
Well, the cool thing too, just real quick, is the series had a really fun intro where Katara is kind of explaining the setting, and they do a riff on that, and I thought in a beautiful way that almost kind of made me emotional hearing it. So anyway, that's what you're referring to, and it's so I thought it was so well done.
Yeah. And I kind of really wanted this to be a movie that made me fall in love with the Avatar franchise and made me feel like, I understand why I gotta go watch this now. I don't think it quite hit that for me. It was close, but it didn't quite hit the heights of like, oh, this is why you gotta do this. And there's a couple reasons for that. One is what you guys have already alluded to, which is it does feel pretty rushed. Like it does feel like, oh, we got to get to a place, and then we're just like introducing these characters, and then you're never going to see them again, right? Like, and it's like, oh, okay, like it feels a little harried in terms of its pacing, and then also like Aang's central emotional journey in this movie. I thought it was only okay. Like, and we can talk more in spoilers about whether and how that worked. So those are the reasons why I didn't like fully fall in love with this, but I still had a good time and would have no problem recommending this because the animation alone is incredible. The set pieces are amazing. And as you guys have pointed out, the acting is great. So lots to like about this movie, but it's not the thing that I'm like, oh, I get it. Like, I wish I could join you in your massive.
Let me tell you, I've given up on that. I've given up on the things.
Fair.
So, you know,
this is Devindra's journey in 2026 is giving up on his co-hosts.
Yes, absolutely. All right, well, let's talk about spoilers. Let's get the spoilers for Avatar Aang, The Last Airbender starting right now. All right, let's talk about spoilers. So I just want to finish the thought I had, which is that I understand at the end of the day, what he learns is absolute power corrupts absolutely. Like that is my perception. Is like
well, that's part of it.
Wanting to wield the power and therefore like
his thing though, the idea of Republic City that they're building, I wish they set this up better, was that this is for everybody, right? Before this was a society where every nation was in its own little hole,
Right.
and they had like it was very insular in the idea of like a New York City
Right.
of this universe.
It's the
where
United
everybody-
States
melting pot.
of this universe.
a melting
right?
pot,
pot.
and non-benders too. And I think we should have spent more time with the deniers, because there are people like that in Korra who have a point. It's like,
Yeah.
why is our entire society built around these people who magically got powers and
Right.
we didn't?
I was extremely sympathetic to the
They're very
denied,
sympathetic.
right?
They're very, very sympathetic.
And their
Yeah.
issue, that's like sort of disposed of, like, in my opinion,
Yeah,
not
I
very
feel like a
gracefully.
lot was cut.
Right?
It's
Yeah.
a bummer that there's not
Yeah.
more time given to that, because like
Yeah.
that's something that the show is actually excellent at in
Yeah.
all of its iterations, is kind of presenting compelling opposing sides.
Right.
And I feel like, the denied have a decent point to be made, and
Hashtag Killmonger is right. Like it is
Yeah.
a thing where it's like, there's a really rich world to mine there, and
Yeah.
the movie didn't do that very well. In my
I
opinion.
feel like they have to cut a lot of corners. Like,
yeah,
I wonder if we'll ever see, like, hey, now that this is out, can we get an extended release or something? People want more of it.
right.
I would love to see that. But
But you
I
can kind
hear
of see, like, oh wow, if they did a good job with that, and and maybe built up Sonam a little bit more, like you could see these like different ideologies conflicting in a way that's super
Yes.
compelling. Instead, it does feel a little bit rushed to me.
Yes,
But
I agree with that.
and then the whole, like, I wish that him unleashing the forces of Dave Bautista on the world was more of a moral choice that he made, like a deliberate moral choice, as opposed to whoopsie, like, because he kind of shows up and he's like, oh, there's a guy in a rock, let's like break him out. Why not? Because that's the next thing to do. By the way, the whole climbing up the mountain I thought was amazing, like just
Incredible.
beautiful stuff, and
Like-
the mountain falling apart.
because
yeah.
my
I don't know
first
why he didn't
reaction,
bring his glider with him, but okay.
my first reaction when I'm watching him climbing up the mountain is, well, I was kind of snarky. Dave was like, well, doesn't he have airbending powers? Why would he need to climb? And then immediately the movie makes clear there's really good reasons why he's doing this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Also,
like,
the ability to fly is something that was only unlocked finally in Korra with
Yeah.
a freaking villain. So, like, it's,
Yeah.
so him
it's
fly.
a-
I did sense that, like, him being able to fly was like a big deal in this movie. The movie
Huge.
did
And that
communicate
sequence where he learns to fly on the airship is so rad.
very good, very good.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
but,
So
but
I
making your
love-
own handholds up the mountain with the earthbending is so cool.
It's cool.
But I love the whole climbing sequence, and just like, wow, what a cool way of like imagining, and like just really, really well done. Anyway, so he gets to the top of the mountain, he sees a guy there, and he's like, well, I guess the next thing I got to do
There
is
should be a sign. if an avatar spent all her energy to like
Right.
Yeah.
encapsulate this
Yeah.
villain, just put a little warning up there.
Do not
Yeah.
touch.
do not
Do
touch,
not
do
touch.
not touch.
Leave him alone.
But yeah, like, I wish there was more of, hey, me breaking him out is like a deliberate moral choice of like, I am going after this goal, and then at the end
Yeah.
he
Well,
realizes,
his goal is he
oh,
doesn't want to be alone. So I don't know.
yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, I wish it's
Yeah.
like, oh, but I shouldn't have wanted that, or I shouldn't have wanted it in that way. And that is the lesson that Aang learned over the course of the film, as opposed to, I made a whoopsie and now I just got to fix the whoopsie. And
I
that's
think he does kind of gather that though. Like, it
Yeah.
is ultimately like he realizes that there are other ways for him to like what they don't really do is like at the end of this movie. Well, Katara, I guess we have to make some new airbenders.
yeah.
Let's get working, Katara.
One job, Katara.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We just got to make a whole family of airbenders. I'm going to bring by myself. I'm going to bring this entire species back, or this entire like clan back. That's really what happens. But I do feel like he sees the regret of his decision there. This I found like the idea of him dealing with. This is him dealing with all of his people being killed because of him too. Like, there is that
Yeah.
lingering regret.
Right.
In the TV show, there is an episode where he goes to that Ur temple for the first time, filled with skeletons of the people that used to train him. Like, just really harsh stuff for a kid's show.
Mhm.
And for a kid too, Aang was a kid when the series began. He was like 10 years old, effectively. So the weight of the world is on him. He's on this journey to fill it. And also now he's dealing with this guilt. I felt at the very least, this was about him sort of dealing with that guilt and trying to move on. In a way, he is moving on from that guilt. That's
I
the main
also
story
love
arc.
that
Yeah.
Zuko, it only get lip
Yeah.
service on it. I wish there's more time to spend on that, but I love how Zuko is like, we can undo the atrocity my people
Yeah.
visited upon you. Because it's the Fire Nation that
Mhm.
wiped out the airbenders, right?
Yeah.
And so it's I think they could have mined that a little more if we had a little more air to breathe. Here.
One of the deniers literally shouts, "Yeah, you sit on a throne built on 100 years of war, man. I'm not going to listen to your moral standing here." Yeah,
that's
you
cool.
Get those.
It's
peppered in, but we
cool
could. I think we could if we'd had more time, we could have spent. It would have been richer. But I do think that I disagree slightly with you, Dave. I do think it lands this notion of you can't undo the past and. I particularly thought the line about it isn't the bending that is the inheritance here. He does not. It's not the bending that's the most important thing to preserve of the culture. It's their morality, and I thought that's really what he comes away with is like your culture isn't. The things you do, it's the things you believe, right? It's the way you live your life. And I think that's the takeaway here is that he is preserving his culture by passing along that morality, and peppering that morality into the culture that he's trying to cultivate.
But also, he's going to make some new airbenders.
Also, he's going
to work hard to make some new airbenders.
Okay.
You could also
listen. Finally, we can say it.
They're not kids anymore.
Katara is hot, and Aang is hot in this movie.
Aang is very hot.
It's the bone structure. They say it right in the trailer we played. Bone structure.
Yeah. It's bone structure. I love that the comedy, they still find time for the comedy in this, and everybody's hot, even the villain. Kind of freaking love Batista. Batista just like giving this franchise has always had great villains. And Korra, Henry Rollins was a villain. Was like he was somebody who learned airbending through sheer will.
Yeah,
he learned airbending and learned how to fly, like just crazy shit. So I really appreciate Batista in here and everybody else that pops up too, like Taika Waititi and everything. Something I do want to say, like you can draw what you will, the real world parallels of building an entire society around defending just one type of people, a society built for one particular type of people, and it doesn't matter what you do to protect that. It doesn't matter who you hurt, doesn't matter who you kill. Draw those parallels as you will. But I think the show makes that moral standing very, very clear.
I agree.
So I think you guys kind of get my point, which is like, I wanted this to be like a home run of like, oh man, amazing, like incredible. And it was instead really solid, like a double,
what's a home run, Dave?
What?
The original series.
Yes.
You can watch it anytime.
If only people had been telling you to watch that.
If only people had been telling me for 20 years to watch this show. Perhaps I would have a way into it.
Meanwhile, Dave will just gleefully watch the Army Hammer Nazi movie. Right? Like, you find time for that, Dave. Yeah.
There are so many badass moments in this movie. And I think that's one of the things that I love about the series both series too, is that they always come up with the most badass uses of their magic system.
It's incredible.
Invariably, you're like, that is the coolest way to do that. And in this movie, that happens in spades too. There's a moment with Toph where she metal bends armor for herself.
She makes a Guyver suit with like a blade. I was like, hell yeah, Toph.
I literally jumped out of my chair in my house when that happened. And there's so many moments like that where it's like, this is the coolest way to do that. So yeah.
We talk about the Furious and the way like martial arts is choreographed too. Like this is like, you're not just thinking about physical action. You're thinking about like, how do these powers kind of interrelate in ways? And like, that requires a certain level of creativity too, and different ways of thinking about choreography and how you do it. So
how it relates every time there's people just using their bending powers in the movie, it's amazing. And also I started appreciating how hard it would be to do this in live action, which is why it's always looked not quite right. At least it wasn't in the M. Night Shyamalan one.
Both live action projects have no involvement with the actual creators of the show. I think that shows. Like there is.
But it's just hard. It's just, you look at it and it's like, it really does feel like they're controlling the elements with their movements, and that's hard to make that happen with live action, right? Even with CG and stuff. So anyway, I really had a good time with this. Liked it, didn't love it. I'm glad you guys are over the moon about this, and hopefully we get more of this kind of stuff.
I want more. I hope there's like a sequel movie. I want more adult Aang, adult Katara, adult Sokka, adult Zuko. Like I want that team to persevere, and it's a cool way that they can still, you know, make stuff like Seven Havens. They can still, you know, create these different time period elements of this IP, of this universe. But man, seeing the original team in their, you know, in their prime, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at the end of the day, it is really impressive that Lauren Montgomery made a movie.
Also, shout out to her because she's been making like superhero, you know, shows for a while. She's been directing all sorts of things. I think this is the biggest project she's had, and it's amazing. I've been watching her for a long
Voltron,
time.
Young Justice. She's
way back to like Batman, Brave and the Bold, like stuff like that.
Yeah. Congrats to everyone involved with this particular project. Thank you so much for watching this video of the Filmcast. Check out these other videos that we have available, and be sure to hit like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to get other videos from us in the future.
You can also go to thefilmcast.com to catch all of our audio podcast versions of all of our episodes.
And support this podcast at patreon.com/filmpodcast, where you can sign up for ad-free episodes and exclusive After Darks.
Thanks so much to everyone who makes the Filmcast possible.